Okay. So, very good afternoon to all the dignitaries and hearty welcome to our 24th national webinar on the occasion of International Biodiversity Day, May 22. National webinar on ecosystem restoration, certain essential approaches and principles and interventions. So this is our national webinar. In this regard, we would like to invite all the dignitaries and the keynote speaker, Professor AMANCHI Nageswar Garu, Department of Zoology, the prestigious university in our Telangana, that is OSMANIA University, Hyderabad. Hearty welcome, sir. And at the same time, the patrons of the three colleges. One is Dr. Y. Satyanarayana Garu, Principal Government Degree College for Women, Jagityal. And the second, Professor Arigela Ashok sir, Principal, Nodal College, Jagityal, SKNR, Government Arts and Science College, Jagityal. And the third college and my college, it is also, that is Government Degree and PG College, Lakshadweep. Last year introduced one of the most important course, that is the integrated teacher education program, that is the GDC Lakshadweep, Department of Education. I am also coordinator by the grace of principal, the young and dynamic personality, Dr. Jai Kishan Oja sir, principal, hearty welcome, and the other organizing committee and co-patrons, Dr. G. Chandraya Garu, and organizing secretary, Dr. Raut Radhakrishna sir, and all the team members, please hearty welcome. Now we would like to invite Dr. Etta Josna Madam Garu, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Government Degree College for Women, Jagityal. Please unmute yourself and invite all the participants and respected patrons and the keynote speaker. Please welcome it. Josna Madam Garu, please unmute yourself and unmute your video also. Please welcome it.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. A very good afternoon, all of you. I'm Jyotsna, Faculty of English, Government Degree College for Women, Jagityal. On this wonderful afternoon, I take much pleasure to heartily welcome each and everyone on behalf of Department of Botany, Department of Education, NSSL, and Government Degree College for Women, Jagityal, and SKNR Government Art Science College, Jagityal, and Government Degree College and Government Degree and PG College, Lakshadweep, to this 24th National Webinar on Ecosystem Restoration, Certain Essential Approaches, Principles and Interventions, which is organized by Department of Botany, Education and NSSL by celebrating the Day of Biodiversity. And initially, our sincere appreciation goes to all the organizing committee, organizing secretary, convener, and all the technical assistance team and all the registered aspirants. Welcome you all. And let's begin the session by welcoming all our distinguished personalities to this webinar. Initially, it's my privilege to welcome our renowned keynote speaker, the distinguished personality, Professor AMANCHI Nageswar Garu, Department of Zoology, OSMANIA University, Hyderabad. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for having your presence here. And then I feel privileged to welcome our renowned patrons of this webinar, Dr. Y. Satyanarayana Garu, charming and dynamic principal of Government Degree College for Women, Jagityal, and courageous, amazing Dr. Arigela Ashok Garu, SKNR, Gout Arts and Science College, Jagityal, and encouraging and spirited Dr. Jai Kishan Oja Garu, Principal, Government Degree and PG College, Lakshadweep. And also, I have honor to welcome our co-patrons, dynamic personalities, Sri G. Chandraya Garu, Head of Department, Botany, Government Women's Degree College, Jagityal, and Sri R. Radhakrishna Garu, Head of the Department, Botany, SKNR, Arts and Science, Government Degree College, Jagityal. And also, I convey my best wishes, and also I feel honored to welcome our convener of this webinar, never tiring. We can call him as and ever refreshed Dr. Padala Tirupati Garu and all the staff members and all the presentees and each and everyone a warm welcome extended, and we hope it would be a great and it would be a wonderful afternoon for each and everyone. And now I'd like to call upon one of our patron, the chief patron of this webinar, Dr. Yamsani Satyanarayana Garu, to address this session.
So please unmute yourself, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon to all. First of all, I congratulate all the organizing committee and all the supportive teams of the program. I heartfully welcome each and every person for this national webinar on ecosystem on restoration, certain essential approaches, principles and interventions on the occasion of Biodiversity Day. A warm welcome our today's keynote speaker, Professor AMANCHI Nageswar Garu, from the bottom of my heart. And also, I welcome our patrons, Dr. Arigal Ashok Garu, Principal SKNR, Government Arts and Science College, Jagityal, and Dr. Jaikishan Oja Garu, Principal, Government Degree College, Lakshatpet, and co-partner Sri Chandra, HOD Botany, JDC in Jagityal, and Sri Radhakrishna, HOD Botany, SKNR, Government Arts and Science College, Jagityal, and convener of this program, Dr. Padala Tirupati, Department of Botany, and all participants. And today, ecological restoration, the process of repairing sites in the nature. Whole biological community systems have destroyed. Ecosystems are dynamic, interacting with their physical environment as a functional unit. The theme will be explained briefly by our honorable keynote speaker, along with illustrations to all of you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your briefing. And now I'd like to call upon Dr. Arigala Ashok Garu to address this session. Please welcome, sir.
Good afternoon to all. On the auspicious occasion of World Biodiversity Day 2024, it is my pleasure to extend heartfelt greeting to all participants of the webinar and ecosystem restoration. This gathering serves as a beacon of hope, uniting individuals and communities committed to preserving and revitalizing our ecosystem. Ecosystem restoration stands as a paramount endeavor in our collective quest for environmental sustainability as we navigate the challenges posed by climate changes, habit loss, and biodiversity decline. It is imperative to adapt holistic approaches grounded in both science and empathy spirit of this webinar, let us reflect on certain essential approaches, principles, and intervention success of ecosystem restoration efforts. Holistic ecosystem management, community engagement, and science-based policy and governance of reform, financial mechanism, and investment. One is education awareness. As we embark on this journey of ecosystem restoration, let us gain steadfast in our commitment to preserving the rich tapestry of life on earth. Together, let us strive to build a more resilient, harmonious, and biodiversity world for generation to capacity for the preservation of our precious ecosystem. Let webinar inspire action and in a global cooperative happy world day. అవకాశం ఇచ్చినందుకు అందరికీ ఆర్గనైజింగ్ చేసిన వారికి మరియు కాలేజ్ ప్రిన్సిపల్ గారికి ఇతర కొలీగ్స్ కు మరియు డాక్టర్ పడాల తిరుపతి గారికి అందరికీ పార్టిసిపేట్ అందరికీ మీ అందరికీ నాకు కృతజ్ఞతలు తెలుపుచున్నాను. ధన్యవాదములు.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for briefing. And now I'd like to invite Dr. Jaikishan Oja Garu, Principal, GDC Lakshya Pay, to address this session. Please speak on, sir.
Thank you, Josna Madam.
Thank you.
Yeah, respected keynote speaker Nageshwar Garu, Patterns Arigala Ashok sir, Principal SKNR Degree College, Jagityal. Satnayan sir, Principal Government Degree College for Women, Jagityal. Convener for this program, Tirupati sir, co-patterns Chandra sir, Radhakrishna sir, and all the organizing members and dear participants. I heartily welcome you all to this webinar.
Thank you, sir.
So, very happy with the theme chosen by our convener. Yes, restoration of ecology or ecosystem. And again, we are very fortunate to find a keynote speaker who works on ecotoxicology. I have seen his research papers. So we are all very fortunate to find such a resource person who is working hard on the theme or the topic which is required now. We know ecotoxicology is nothing but harmful pesticides or chemicals which has been used for improving the cultivation, and which the effects which we are seeing today. The ecosystem is totally damaged. So we have to work on the restoration of this ecosystem. So what we are going to learn today is nothing but the restoration of ecosystem. And again, if you see the theme of this year's celebration, International Day of Biodiversity, there also they say that be part of the plan. Okay. So I think we are the part of the plan today. Why? Because we are organizing the webinar on such a topic. Yes. So again, being teachers, we have a very important role. Why? Because we have to give this message to our students, and in our surroundings also, we have to do something to give back to the ecosystem or to restore the ecosystem. So I am very happy to be associated with personalities, the patterns, Arigala Ashok sir or Satnayan sir, making us a part of this webinar. So on behalf of our college, staff members and students, I convey my thanks to both of you. And again, grateful, highly grateful to the keynote speaker for accepting the invitation on our part. And I definitely wish the program to be a very great success. And we have to carry this message back to the society. And I thank all the participants for keeping patience and joining with us. Thank you, Josna Madam also. Thank you all of you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you so much for briefing. Definitely, this session would be a greater source of message for all the people to protect the biodiversity. I'd like like to call upon
Madam,
Sri R. Radha Krishna
sir,
Garu, organizing.
Actually, Oja sir is very busy with college, other work, and he is not in our state. But our due to this program, sir has joined. Is emergency, and sir is very busy schedule. Thank you very much, sir.
Wow.
Please proceed, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, sir. Thank you. And now I'd like to call upon Sri R. Radha Krishna Garu, Organizing Secretary, Head of the Department Botany, SKNR Gout Arts and Science College, Jagityal, speak a few words about the session. Please come.
Thank you, Josna. I am myself Radha Krishna, a botany from SKNR Degree College. As the organizing secretary of this esteemed webinar on ecosystem restoration, it is my privilege to extend a warm welcome to all participants gathered here today in celebration of World Biodiversity Day of 2024. As the organizing secretary, I am deeply inspired by the dedication and passion demonstrated by all the participants in their commitment to the restoration and conservation of biodiversity. Your collective expertise, experience, and insightly will undoubtedly enrich our discussion and pave the way for actionable solutions. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our esteemed keynote speaker, Professor AMANCHI Garu, Department of Zoology, OU, Hyderabad, and also our patron, our beloved principal, Dr. Arigala Ashok Garu, Principal of SKNR Degree College, and Dr. Y. Satyanarayana Garu, Principal, GDC Women's, and Dr. Jackson Oja Garu, Principal and GDC Lachatpet, and also our dynamic convener, Dr. Padala Garu, Assistant Professor of Botany, GDC Women Jagityal, and also our fellow co-patron, Chandraya Garu, HOD of Botany, GDC Women Jagityal, and also all the participants of this webinar and also organizing committee members of this webinar. And may this webinar serve as a catalyst for renewed commitment and collaboration on our shared maximum to restore, safeguard our planet ecosystem for future generations. Together, let us embark on the journey with optimism, determination, and a profound sense of stewardship. Thank you and happy World Biodiversity Day. Thank you, one and all.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Definitely the collaboration of these three colleges would bloom better for forthcoming endeavors. Thank you so much. And now I'd like to invite Dr. K. Sandhyarani ma'am, Assistant Professor, Political Science, Government Degree and PG College, Lakshadweep, to invite our honorable keynote speaker and to take the session handed over. Please come, ma'am.
Okay, madam, myself, K. Sandhyarani, lecturer in Political Science, Government Degree College, Lakshadweep. A wonderful good afternoon to all the dignitaries and a cool welcome. Why? Because it is very hot. That's why I mentioned a cool welcome to all this webinar. It's my honor to give the biodata of today's keynote speaker, Dr. Nageswar AMANCHI. Dr. Nageswar AMANCHI is an assistant professor of zoology at University College of Science, OSMANIA University, Hyderabad, Telangana State, India. He has masters in zoology and obtained his PhD in zoology from OSMANIA University in the year 2007. His research interests lies in the area of ecotoxicology of pesticides, heavy metals, and metagenomics. Two of his research students have been awarded PhD degree and 3 are pursuing. He completed 2 research projects funded by UGC and DBT successfully and published 17 research papers in national and international reputed journals. 3 books chapters on biodiversity and human health and environmental toxicology. He has collaborated with researchers in other disciplines of life sciences, particularly environmental sciences, biotechnology for bioremediation of heavy metals, pollutants, and applied toxicology. He is the instructor for both undergraduate and postgraduate programs for the past 16 years. He is the instructor, He's the instructor for both undergraduate and postgraduate programs for past 16 years, besides research experience. The topics he teaches are biology, invertebrates and vertebrates, biomolecules, embryology and development for UG students, molecular genetics and biomolecules, development biology, tools and techniques, principles of toxicology, environmental and occupational toxicology, and research methodology for PG students. He has associated actively in organizing several of national and international conferences, seminars and workshops for upcoming researchers and students in the university. He is life member in several academic bodies and reviewer to the journals of ecotoxicology and environmental safety. ఆమంచి నాగేశ్వరరావు గురించి ఈ మంచి 4 పరిచయ వాక్యాలు తెలపడానికి అవకాశం ఇచ్చినటువంటి ఈ యొక్క ప్రోగ్రామ్ కన్వీనర్ గారికి, అందరి డిగ్నిటరీస్ అందరికీ కూడా హృదయపూర్వక ధన్యవాదాలు సార్. థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్. థ్యాంక్ యూ ఫర్ గివింగ్ దిస్ వండర్ఫుల్ ఆపర్చునిటీ. థ్యాంక్ యూ వన్ అండ్ ఆల్ సార్.
జ్యోత్స్న మేడం గారు.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Tireless and ever charming Dr. Padala Tirupati Garu to speak a few words about this session and to invite our honorable keynote speaker.
Okay, thank you very much, madam. Before legendary words, before our eminent personality, dynamic professor words, I would like to say a few words regarding of this national webinar. So today we are associated with 3 colleges organizing this national webinar. This is the 24th national webinar through our college. So different institutions, RBVRR Women's College Autonomous Hyderabad and SRR Government Arts and Science College Autonomous, Women's Degree College Autonomous Karimnagar, and the SKNR Government Arts and Science College Jagityal, and the Government Degree College Gambiropet, Sirsila District, and the Government Degree and PG College Lakshadpet, Manchiral District. These are the few colleges we are associated with organizing these wonderful national webinars from the pandemic situation, Corona 2019. So this is endless programs by the grace of my principals, dynamic personalities, promoting, organizing this type of national webinars, and also more than 250 national online quizzes also we are conducted, 4 national workshops also conducted through this online program. So thank you very much each and every college patrons and principals of all the colleges, especially my college principal, Dr. Yamsani Satyanarayana, dynamic personality. He is ready to retire from 2024 September, but he is never retired because of his dynamic personality, young and dynamic active personality. Physically is very active, psychologically more active compared to the physical. So I am very happy, I am very lucky. And also this is my college, that is a government degree college for women, Jagityal. And the another college I am working as a coordinator for integrated teacher education program, BA from government degree and PG college Lakshadpet. Dr. Jaikishan Oja sir, very visionary person and very cooperative person. Whether you believe or not, he is till today campaigning program in this hot summer. So మన చుట్టుపక్కల అనేకమైనటువంటి కాలేజెస్ కాంపిటీషన్ ఉన్నప్పుడు కూడా more than 1000 students they are joined in this model college. Telangana state, one of the model college in Lakshadpet, Manchiral district. Gauranilu Narendra Modi ji, our honorable prime minister, has inaugurated this college in northern Telangana, that is Lakshadpet. So, and also SKNR principal, nodal college principal, Dr. Professor Aragal Ashok sir, he is ever promoting me, and also I am very thankful to him. Till today I am the one of the state level master trainer in elections, general elections to the assembly and general elections 2024 House of People parliamentary elections. So before half an hour, before 20 minutes, I have completed training for counting postal ballot and EVM counting and VVPAT slip counting. I participated just by the grace of the Honorable Principal, Nodal College Principal, Professor Arigala Ashok sir. Because of this is the thankfulness. I am assured. I'm sure that because of their promotion, just because of their grace, I work in the different settings. So I am very thankful to them. And I would like to invite Professor AMANCHI NAGESWAR sir, dynamic personality. I have seen in pandemic situation, they are conducted so many programs and short-term courses related to biodiversity and plant systematics, and also the zoology also. So I never seen such a personality. Whether you believe or not, before 3 days, before 4 days, our actually keynote speaker is Professor Vijay Bhaskar Reddy sir. Due to his health issue, sir has accepted single word because of AMANCHI NAGESWAR sir, his dynamic personality and the best friend of the Department of Botany, Professor Vijay Bhaskar Reddy sir. So by the suggestion of Professor Vijay Bhaskar Reddy sir, I just ring to the Professor AMANCHI NAGESWAR sir. He is very close, very kind-hearted, accepted our program. So that's why we are wholeheartedly thankful to him. So we would like to invite dynamic personality and please share your screen and start your session, sir. This is the legendary session. This is the time for our actual program. Please welcome, sir. So, Madam Garu. Okay, sir, I have given to, yeah. Sharing option also given, sir.
Is it visible, sir?
Yes, sir. It's visible, sir. Yeah, please proceed, sir.
Very good afternoon, all the organizers. Thank you for kind words showed on this occasion. I'm very much thankful to all the three colleges, I believe, the patrons of the three different colleges, Professor Y. Satyanarayana Garu, Professor Ashok Garu, Professor Jai Kishan Ojha Garu, and the key instrumental co-patrons, Professor Dr. G. Chandraya Garu and Radhakrishna Garu, and the instrumental person entire this webinar, that is Padala Tirupati Garu. We have very small interaction during the pandemic days. Sir was mentioning the same in the introductory remarks. So we have organized a couple of workshops and also conferences, and those conferences were streamed entire nation. So many teachers from biology, from botany, zoology, and all applied sciences have participated. During that program, we have small interaction with the Tirupati sir, Padala Tirupati sir, and also thanks to English madam and also political science madam. And it shows the coordination and the collaboration of the three different institutions, 3 or 4 different institutions, and also a collectiveness of the entire team. And I also thank to the all the organizing team members of all the 3 colleges. There are so many teachers involved in this. And finally, to the participants. And I hope and believe that this session will definitely throw some light on ecosystem restoration. I think Ojha sir correctly pointed out that for the last couple of decades, people are talking about the biodiversity. What is biodiversity? What kind of types are there? And how to estimate, enumerate, identify damages to the ecosystem, biodiversity, and so many things. And now the second phase of that ecosystem restoration is that biodiversity has come. That is ecosystem restoration. And this ecosystem restoration is not my brainchild. And because I am there in the biodiversity area and ecotoxicology and biodiversity area for the last and different aspects. And United Nations Environmental Program or United Nations in general have come with a one international decadal program that is called ecosystem restorations. Announced that 2022 2030 one decade is dedicated to the ecosystem restoration. For that ecosystem restoration, they have sorted out so many things and so many policies also. They have started general kind of lecture, or it is not general kind of a kind of policy decision. All these signatory which are integral part of the United Nations, including India. All nations, say 180 above nations have signed an agreement that we will start at our nation level, local level, regional level, at every possible level, measures to restore ecosystems. That is the understanding. So in this understanding, the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization have come with a broader idea, encouraging developments in different parts of the world. So I will throw a light, very, very broader. It will be a very, very broader and definitely inspiring, I believe. And we'll start that program with this talk with a background. So during the pandemic, I was telling, and also Tirupati sir was telling, during the pandemic, we never experienced, our human race experienced couple of times, or as in generation, my senior generation. So pandemics come because of the unscientific interventions, unscientific handling of the things by the human race, whether it is for a purpose of commercial product, for a purpose of industrial activity, for a purpose of developmental activity, or any kind of activity. But these kinds of things will emerge, pandemics emerge, and these pandemics will throw some light on us that where we are going wrong, what kind of measures we have to take, where we are going wrong, and how to measure, how to take some protective efforts to avoid all these kinds of pandemics. So that is why geosphere is a soil, metal, and all the geosphere, biosphere are affected because of the anthroposphere, because of the human activity. These geosphere and biospheres are affected, and then that results into loss or emergence of new organisms, either loss or emergence of new organisms. Many a times, new organisms emerged, but they are not noticed, or they are not so bothered to the human race, because every day, every time, we will come with this one or the other kind of new products, or one or the other kind of new procedures, and in that course, new organisms will emerge, or we identify new organisms which are already there. But it will not make any difference to the human race, because they are not harmful, they are not useful, they'll come and go. Simple, very simple, like that. So biodiversity is lost, or diversity is lost, and in the course of time, in the evolution of that kind of thing, so sometimes we'll experience a very pandemic kind of things like SARS, COVID-19, and all that. So that is the basic structure or basic idea, story behind the emergence of the pandemics. And this is what we discussed. Very recent one is that is COVID-19 pandemic. And what is, you can see what kind of pollution we are every day causing. See, in the concentration of nitrogen dioxide across eastern China from January 1 to February 25th. You can see from January 1 to 20, the yellow part, which is highlighted. Okay, it is a NASA picture. That is the pollution levels in the eastern China. And from February 10 to 15, 10 to 25, 15 days, because of the entire shutdown of the pandemic situation, COVID-19. So there is no pollution at all. So that shows a satellite picture where the pollution levels and where the pollution levels are very less in absence of the anthropogenic activity, which is related to the previous slides. Because of the anthropogenic activity, entire biosphere and geosphere will affect. It shows this slide shows that the effect of pollution. And then see this slide, the number of tourists in the world wise, anthropogenic activities, because of the multiple reasons. Tourism is not just out of interest or curiosity. Tourism in business, tourism in economy, tourism in other science and technology. People will travel from one place to another place. So from 2000 to 2020, so 2 decades, the number of people travel from one place to another is in millions. 2,674 million people will travel across the globe. From 2000 to 2020, that is 1,500 million people are traveling every day. Every day, that is everyday count. Number of tourists in millions. So we have experienced, human population experienced 3 great crises. One is 2003 SARS, similar SARS kind of SARS virus, 2003. In that situation, 2003, there is a decline in the population migration or population travel. And in the 2009 global economic crisis, we have all seen that so many people have lost their jobs. In the 2009 also, there is a decline in the travel of the people. That is 37 million people have come down. Number has come down. And after 2009, 2020, there is no crisis in the crisis or any kind of great change in the number of people, those who travel every day or every year, something like that. And up to 2019 and 20, and during COVID-19 pandemic, 290 to 440 million people, that is 20 to 30% of travel has come down because of the shutdown and COVID-19 restrictions. So because of this anthropogenic activity from one place to other place, one nation to another nation, because of the movement of the human race, so much of pollution is caused. Previous slide, as I shown in the Eastern China and also shown in the previous cases. So because of the anthropogenic activity for multiple reasons. For multiple reasons, maybe it is employment, maybe it is a tourism, maybe it is an economy, or it is a political travel, or whatever it is, whatever you say. So because of multiple reasons, people travel. Because of the travel, anthropogenic activity increases in multiple ways, not only in motorcycle or motor vehicle pollution, in other aspects also. So because of that, biosphere and geosphere will get stress, and because of stress, new organisms emerge. Certain organisms will be lost from the earth or from the biodiversity spots. So that is the reason why we need this is the background of the ecosystem stress. And I will come to next slide, you'll understand more clearly. And what is ecosystem restoration? So what is the human race is experiences biodiversity loss, biodiversity threat, or declining the number of organisms, or there are organisms declared endangered or extinct or something else. Okay, the red data book, red data list, so many other things are there, but there is a loss, a huge loss to the entire biodiversity. So we have somewhere, somehow, some point, we have to halt this kind of decrease. So the process of halting, reversing degradation, resulting in improved ecosystem services and recovered biodiversity is called ecosystem restoration. Somewhere we have to halt it. Somewhere, if it is possible, we have to reverse it. So halting and reversing the loss of biodiversity degradation to the actual degradation is called ecosystem restoration. And it is a combination of wide continuum of practice. It is not one way, or it is not one single parameter, or one couple of parameters, certain couple of parameters, or one nation, one place, one region. So it is a continuum of practices depending on local conditions and social choice. Depending on the objective, restored ecosystem can follow different trajectories from degraded to natural, degraded natural to more intact natural ecosystems, from degraded modified ecosystems to more functional modified ecosystems, from modified ecosystems towards more natural ecosystem, providing the rights and needs of the people who depend on the ecosystems that are not compromised. Whenever we do ecosystem restoration, we also see the people who also depend on the ecosystem, that ecosystem. So the ecosystem restoration practices should not cause any kind of damage or hamper the needs and requirements of the people, those who depend on the ecosystems. That is also we consider into, take into consideration. And this is also happening. In general, overfishing is having the greatest impact on the oceans. That is a fourth point. Okay, first, general, there are so many, we are degrading our ecosystems in serious ways, from farmlands, agricultural lands to forests, from mountains to oceans, and our diverse ecosystems, both natural and modified, are being damaged faster than they can recover. Ecosystems are losing their integrity, biodiversity, and ability to provide essential services. You will realize, I hope, and I request all the especially organizing secretary, let all the students stay back so that they'll realize what kind of loss the human race is experiencing. That I will highlight in the next slides. And the drivers for the ecosystem biodiversity loss and degradation are land, sea use change. So how you are using the land, how sea is used, seawater and resources are used, direct exploitation, climate change, pollution, and invasive species. These are all major key drivers for the ecosystem loss and degradation. In general, overfishing is having a greatest impact on ocean ecosystems. The terrestrial and freshwater ecosystems are most affected by land use changes. We are converting entire agricultural land into domestic land, or entire forest land into agricultural land, entire rural lands into urban kind of thing. So there are so many changes, land use changes, which is driven mainly by the agriculture, forestry, and urbanization. The United Nations Decade focuses on 8 broad categories of ecosystems based upon the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN, and Global Ecosystem Typology. So there are broadly, the scientists have classified all ecosystems into broadly 8 ecosystems. So each one will see what is happening to each one ecosystem. Ecosystem worldwide are under stress. So there are 8 ecosystems I was telling. One is farmlands. If you take agriculture lands, farmlands as ecosystem, what is happening to farmlands, we'll see. So farmlands, 4.8 billion hectares of croplands and pastures, which cover 12 and 26% of world's ice-free land. Rather than except ice-free land, whatever land is there, in that land, that is 12 and 26% of lands are covered under farmlands. Okay, and which is 20% of croplands show stressed, declined productivity. So entire agricultural lands, people say because of the green revolution, people say because of the modern applications in agriculture, people say modern technology in application, new seeds, new pesticides, new fertilizers. These all have come and they have showed their contribution. People have experienced. We have come from the poverty, out of poverty. People have come from out of poverty. People are governments have given so many grains to the people in different nations, not only India. Then we have achieved it. But after green revolution, after a couple of decades, say a couple of decades, 60 to 80s or 60 to 90s, 3 decades in India, or else in other nations. So what is happening to agriculture is 20% of croplands show stressed. They are under severe stress and declining productivity, even after using so many pesticides, fertilizers, and so many methods, new technologies, new interventions. 20% of productivity has declined in the farmlands. It is not my data. It is Food and Agriculture Organization and United Nations Organization data. And second ecosystem, if you consider forests as an ecosystem, 4.06 billion hectares of land, which is 31% of the land area, global land area. So global land area in amount, in entire global land area, 31% accounts for a forest, that is 4.06 billion hectares, which is 420 million hectares of forests have been converted to other land use changes since 1990, 2020. Last 3 decades. In last 3 decades, it is not in Indian data, it is in an world-wise data. 420 million hectares of forest land have been converted to other land use for the other land use purposes. So except forest, it is being used for industrial purpose, mining purpose, roads, construction, dams, development, agriculture, new settlements, whatever you say. So 420 million hectares have been shifted from forest to other land uses. That is the stress forest ecosystem now facing worldwide from 1990 to 2024. And if you take freshwater as an ecosystem, so it accounts 0.01% of the Earth's surface water. Earth's surface water, not groundwater. It accounts 0.01%. 35% average decline in areas of natural inland wetlands since 1970, with the 87% total loss since 1700. So 1700, 1990, 1970. 1970 means 2020, 50 years. So if you count for the last 50 years, 5 decades, 35% of average decline in areas of natural inland wetlands, inland water or surface water, fresh water have come down because of the whatever development we say greatly for the last 50 years. And that is the stress. That is the stress there on the freshwater ecosystem now on the now in the entire world. And grasslands, shrubs, and savannas, if you take an ecosystem, so that is another ecosystem. They account as a grassland and savannas cover 26 to 40%. Grassland 26% and savannas 40% of the earth land surface, which is 19% of in which 19% of the grasslands, 27% of the rangelands show stressed or declined productivity. Grasslands are used for so many other agricultural purposes and grazing and other things. So 19% of the grasslands, 27% of the rangelands, similar to grasslands, are stressed or declined their productivity worldwide. If you take mountains as a ecosystem, mountains also considered as a mountain ecosystems. So mountains account 27% of land area of the global land area. So 27% of the global land area is covered with the mountains, and the rate of damage 5 days per decade in an entire decade, say 2010 to 2020. So 1 decade, 5 days. The average life of the mountains is coming 5 days in a decade. Every 10 సంవత్సరాలకి ఒక 5 రోజులు దాని వయసు తగ్గిపోతుంది. So 5 days for a decade. So average decline in duration of the mountains, snow cover, especially at lower elevation levels. Lower elevation levels, it is very much significant. And if you consider oceans and coastal regions as another ecosystem, so they occupy 36 billion hectares of land. So 36 billion hectares area, and which is 6% of ocean ecosystems are damaged, degraded, or modified. And 1/3 of the commercial marine fish populations are fished unsustainably. So 66% of ocean ecosystems are damaged, degraded, or modified. 1/3 of the commercial marine fish populations are fished unsustainably. So if you see the global hunger index or global food supply details, Food and Agriculture Organization details, majority people get food from the fish and fish resources, not from the land and agriculture and whatever we experience in India. So all coastal regions, all regions where oceans are there, where people are residing near the coastal and ocean regions, they feed, their life entirely depends on the oceans, and to feed the entire population of entire globe, so many commercial activities also being practiced in oceans, satisfy commercially available food fish or any other is collected from the ecosystems of ocean ecosystems. That is why among the all ecosystems, ocean ecosystems are highly stressed, damaged, or degraded or modified. And peatlands, if you consider peatlands is one of the ecosystems, 400 million hectares across 169 countries, it accounts, and degradation has effectively affected nearly 65 million hectares of peatlands, especially in Europe, Central and Southeast Asia, East Africa, Southernmost Africa, and an Amazon area. And urban areas, if you take urban areas, for example, Hyderabad city, Karimnagar city, or Mumbai city. Anything, sir? Is it visible?
Sorry, sir. Please share once again, sir. Please. Please share your screen. Someone has written on the screen, sir. Please.
Yes, yes, no problem. Is it visible, sir?
No, sir. No, sir.
Wait. One second.
Okay, sir. Please click on slideshow, sir.
Visible, sir?
Yeah, it's visible, sir.
Yeah. Now, urban areas, if you take Hyderabad as a city, Mumbai, Kolkata, any other city, if you take any city in the world, so urban area as an ecosystem, if you consider, and which covers 2% of the global land area, and more than 50% since 2000, since 2000, the number of city inhabitants without access to safely managed drinking water has increased by more than 50%. Safely managed drinking water is not there in entire globe, which is more than 50%. More than 50% of urban population is not having safely managed drinking water, which is also a crisis. Food and Agriculture Organization consider safely drinking water, providing safe drinking water is a essential need, which is also considered one of the crises because of the biodiversity lot and pollution, whatever you say. So urban areas, that is more than 50% urban cities, inhabitants are not having safely drinking water these days. That is the stress urban ecosystem is facing now. These are 8 ecosystems, I believe, and all ecosystems are under very severe stress. Okay, examples around the world. In Kenya, land degradation is having a significant impact on crop productivity and hence on local livelihoods and other overall economy. Soil nutrient mining, which see there are people are counting all these kinds of crisis in terms of money. In terms of if you don't consider count the value in terms of money, people will not understand. Economy will understand. Politicians will not understand. Economists will not understand. That is why they convert this loss into money, and that is very, very important. So that costing country to an estimated US dollars 270 millions each year. So that much of energy people are putting to collect their safely drinking water in Kenya because of the non-availability of the water or because of the crisis. Examples from around the world. See, agriculture consumes a large amount of fresh water. The more dramatic example of this is Aral Sea in Central Asia. You can see 1977, 1989, and 2006, which is very, very, very wider or very huge freshwater area, which is becoming very, very thin now. So 1/10 of its original size. Now it has come to very small with the surface area 68,000 kilometers squares. It is now only 1/10 of దాంట్లో 10వ వంతుకు తగ్గిపోయింది 1/10 of its original size. So construction of large scale irrigation infrastructure in 1960s diverted its source rivers towards cotton and other crops. So local populations continue to suffer from food security, job losses, and health problems because of the construction of large scale irrigation dams. We have seen what is happening. I don't go into details of the project, but mission Kaleshwaram and all that. people have constructed in 1960s in Kenya and other Central Asia regions, very huge dams like Nagarjuna Sagar and Srisailam, and now people are facing in those areas. Examples from around the world. So during the 20th century, conversion of an estimated 29 million hectares of farmer grasslands in Western Canada to agriculture production, including practice of leaving the tilled earth exposed to wind every other year, lead to an estimated 25% of loss of soil organic carbon. Severe wind erosion events lead to significant areas of region being abandoned in 1930s. So in Canada, what is the practice is once they do the agriculture this year, they will not do any agriculture next year. Simply they'll till it and then leave it. So they leave it without any agriculture. What happens is because of the huge wind, huge winds, entire organic soil, whatever is available there in the surface layers will erode. So that erodes. So because of the alternative cropping method or the cropping method, the cropping practice they usually practice in Canada. So because of that, entire land surface is organic soil is lost. So that is why they have come, the fertility capacity has come down in the Canada. That is worldwide example because of the agriculture practices they usually do in the Canada. This is another example. Major river basins originating, we know that Hindu Kush Himalaya region. So Hindu Kush Himalaya region is the source of 10 Asia's largest river systems and then main source of fresh water in South Asia. Ecosystem services from Hindu Kush region sustain an estimated 240 million people in the region. So because of the Himalaya ప్రాంతాల నుంచి వచ్చే వాటర్ నదులు ఏవైతే ఉంటాయి, so Hindu Kush Himalaya, so that 240 million people will depend every year for the water in that Hindu Kush Himalaya region. People in their region benefit and some 1.7 billion people in downstream river basins. So global warming is a key driver of change in the Hindu Kush Himalaya region. Glacier volumes are projected to decline by up to 90% throughout the 21st century. So global warming is warning the people in the Hindu Kush region, including Indus, Brahmaputra, Ganga, and other so many rivers in the in Hindu Kush region. So 90% will come down in the 21st century. Degradation of permafrost is expected to destabilize mountain slopes, alter hydrology, and threaten infrastructure. So Hindu Kush is also facing environmental degradation from overexploitation of natural resources, land use, land cover changes. So examples from around the world. Another example in Australia, we see it is there in our syllabus, BSc level, UG level, or other intermediate level. The Great Barrier Reef have lost half of its coral since 1995. Very recent. It is very, very recent. So since 1995, half of the Great Barrier Reef lost its corals due to bleaching events. And this poses a threat to the 64,000 jobs and Australian dollars 6.4 billion the reef brings to the Australian economy every year. 6.4 billion of Australian dollars come from the coastal regions, reef tourism and all that, and that is lost. And 64,000 jobs will be lost because people are depending on the corals and coral related industry in Australia, mostly from the tourism, that is, but also from the fishing, recreational and scientific activities. That is the threat to the Great Barrier Reef now. And there are other areas also there, and this is the stress what we have seen first part of my presentation. So if I'm Tirupati sir, I'm exceeding the time, just remind me in between. So why restoration is necessary? What kind of benefit we get from the restoration? If you do restoration of all the 8 ecosystems and their economy, their loss and all those things, so if you halt somewhere, some step, and then what kind of benefit we get in terms of money, in terms of health, in terms of wealth, we'll see now. Okay, first benefit, health and welfare. The restoration of ecosystems can provide benefits and services which are essential to the physical and mental health, such as clean air, climate regulation, and disease prevention. That is why I was telling disease, pandemic kind of disease prevention can be done because of the, if you do the ecosystem restoration. So clean air, pollution, I have given an example, China example, climate regulation, and also disease prevention. So example, investing just US $4 in Indian rupees, 4 rupees say. So investing just US $4 per resident in growing a tree could improve the health of millions of people by filtering and cooling the air. In one day, for example, one day, one fully grown tree can give oxygen to 4 people. నలుగురికి సరిపోయేంత ఆక్సిజన్ ని ఒక రోజు ఒక ట్రీ ఇస్తుంది. So like that, so investing US $4 because global economy runs with the US dollars. They made it in the Food and Agriculture and United Nations made it US $4. If you spend US $4 per resident ఒక ఇంటికి in growing a tree would improve health of millions of people by filtering and cooling the air. Food security, restoration of farmlands and food producing services of natural ecosystems can help the world to achieve the sustainable developmental goal of zero hunger by 2030. Zero hunger is 2030 is the global target, is the sustainable SDGs, sustainable developmental goals 17 we say. In that zero hunger by 2030, if you restore the ecosystems, we can achieve. How we can achieve? Restoring mangroves. One example. Restoring mangroves could add 60 trillion young, edible, commercially valuable fish and invertebrates to the coastal waters ecosystems every year. If you manage, restore the mangroves, what is damage? What kind of damage we usually do because of the ecosystems and I was telling oceans and coastal region ecosystem stress. Okay, now 60 trillion young, edible, commercially valuable fish and invertebrates. So many invertebrates also people use. So invertebrates to coastal waters every year. And biodiversity. Third one is biodiversity. Restoration can reverse the biodiversity losses and increase provisions of ecosystem services. Restoring 15% of converted land in the right place could avoid 60% of expected species extinction. I was telling endangered species, extinct species, red data book, like that. So if you restore 15% of converted agriculture or converted forest lands, especially converted forest lands in right places, in right direction, which avoids 60% of expected species extinction from the globe. Economy. The longer that ecosystems are left to degrade and the more degraded they become, the longer the cost to society due to decreasing ecosystem services and higher cost to the restoration itself. If you want to restore in later stages, it takes a lot of money. It requires a lot of money. So examples, 10 trillion in global GDP could be lost by 2050 if ecosystem services continue to decline like this. If ecosystem services continue decline like this by 2050. So 10 trillion global economy loss will be there. So because it is an United Nations kind of presentation, so that is where they look at global level. So what kind of loss we will experience? 10 trillion global GDP is lost because of the ecosystem damage, services damage. This is what we have seen. So in terms of money, in terms of some figures, if I say something, then people will realize that is why I collected data and then presented here. Okay, and this is very good example. That is Costa Rica. You might be knowing the name Costa Rica, one of the important small nations, has doubled its forest cover since 1980s through restoration activity, while simultaneously tripling its national income. So it is also tripled its national income and doubled its forest cover from 1980, last 40 years, 4 decades. It has reversed deforestation by paying landowners for ecosystem services such as carbon sequestration, watershed protection, providing economic incentives for landowners to restore, protect their natural resources. There are so many other kinds of mechanisms how to restore and restore ecosystems. And Costa Rica is now a leader in ecotourism. It's a tourism sector which accounts for 6% of GDP. Entire 6% of GDP comes from the ecotourism, which is very, very huge amount. Okay, is growing by 6% every year, and it is increasing every year, and providing 7% of all jobs, because it is a small nation. Entire economy depends on the tourism, forest. That is why 7% of total jobs depend on the ecotourism, and it is 6% of that economy GDP. And this is one of the best example these days, how to use forest as an economy for creating wealth and jobs. There are so many other examples around the world. And this is South Africa has invested US $1.1 billion in the restoration, including as part of the Working for the Water initiative. And since 1995, 3 million hectares have been cleared of invasive species. Invasive non-native species are cleared from so many areas. That is 3 million hectares. From the 3 million hectares, they have cleared all invasive species, and which affect water quality through an increased fire risk and subsequent soil erosion. In Brazil, Green Blue Water Coalition is implementing nature-based solution to promote water security at risk cities. The initiative works to conserve and restore forest across 21 watershed areas that supply almost 42 million people. 42 million people are supplied. Water supplied to the 42 million people in different areas. You can see here, connecting water, nature, and business. 25 metropolitan regions in the Latin America face hydric stress, severe water stress, like Bengaluru, what we experienced in very recent a couple of weeks back. Investing in nature will contribute to water security in 12 regions located in Brazil. And countries are increasing, including nature-based solutions in their naturally determined contributions to meet the targets in Paris Climate Agreements. We are part of the Bonn Agreement. We are part of the Kyoto Protocol. India as a nation. Like that, there are many countries. More than 160, 170 nations have agreed in the worldwide, and we are bound to that. We have to implement these all kinds of measures somewhere or the other. This is also one kind of the same one. 8,000 kilometers long Great Green Wall is an Africa-led initiative to combat land degradation, desertification, and drought across 11 countries in West Africa, semi-arid sub-Saharan region, where conflict is displacing communities. Okay, and I'll show that figure. So 8,000 kilometers, that is called Great Green Wall of Africa. It is an initiative in the South African sub-Saharan nations to combat land degradation, desertification, and drought. This is what that is. Earth Resource Observatory and Science Center, Landscape Restoration and Regreening. From Senegal, from left to right, you can see here, Senegal is there. From Senegal to Djibouti. Okay, from Senegal to Djibouti up to Ethiopia. In the Ethiopia Djibouti, 8,000 kilometers range, 8,000 kilometers range. And you can see Senegal to Djibouti, green, whatever green is there. Regreening and landscape restoration is the Great Green Wall of African sub-Saharan nations. So that is called with that name. And you can see in the lower picture how they are doing. Okay, so the restoration practice also people are doing in a scientific way, just like that they are not planting the plants. Okay, there wherever open place is there, wherever forest place is there, wherever unused place is there, they are not using like this. So scientifically, how to plant the plants, what direction, where, what kind of plants, which kind of that region is there, what is the climatic condition, what kind of wind pattern is there, what kind of temperature is there, what is the rainfall. Like that, they'll consider so many environmental factors, and then they plant different kinds of plants. You can see the designing of the plants. So they are not planting in line, in a row, in a regular manner. So there are scientific scientific procedures. They have evolved their own local based, need based scientific methods. With that methods, they are planting, and then it is a 8,000 kilometer stretch from Senegal to Djibouti across the 11 countries, I believe. So 11 countries, and then it is a very huge program, and they are now in the progress of that program. And we also have a project that is India Pitches for Ambitious Great Green Wall of India project. That is also there. I'll read out that. So this is Great Green Belt, around 1,400 kilometers long, 5 kilometers wide, spans from Gujarat to Haryana Delhi border. The Great Green Wall of India is a national priority project under its ambitious goal to revive 26 million hectares of degraded land by 2030. So 26 million hectares of degraded, already that land has been degraded to their original capacity. So it has to be restored by 2030. The idea was part of the agenda at the recently held COP24 of United Nations. So not only India, every nation is part of that. If you are a signatory nation of United Nations, definitely somewhere, somehow we are supposed to start some initiative and restore back your ecosystems. So this ambitious project will be India's legacy program to address the concerns of land degradation through afforestation and also protect the green cover from dust arising from deserts of Western India to Pakistan. The project envisages the restoration of degraded land through massive afforestation along the Aravalli Hill Range that is spread along Gujarat, Rajasthan, Delhi, and Haryana states. 50% of area degraded land in Aravalli Belt, 50% area degraded land in the Aravalli Belt, and it's that will be restored. So it is alarming that the share of the degraded land in India is 29.3%, 96.4 million hectares of land of the country's total geographical area, that is 328.7 million hectares. That in that 96.4 million hectares of land is degraded as per the scientific data is available. So that has to be restored in entire India. And in the Aravalli area, 50% land is degraded. That is why they took as a model, as a pilot kind of thing from the Gujarat region to Haryana Delhi border. And it is a Great Green Wall of India program, which is also part of the ecosystem restoration contribution from India side to the global level. And there are so many other also there. So what is the objective of this one? So then the goal, the United Decade has our overarching goal of to prevent, halt, or reverse the degradation of ecosystems. There are some goals, okay, underpinning the vision. There are three main goals. One is enhancing the global, regional, national, and local commitments and actions to prevent, halt, and reverse the degradation of ecosystems. Number two goal is increasing our understanding of multiple benefits of successful ecosystem restoration. Goal three is applying knowledge of ecosystem restoration in our education systems within all public and private sector decision-making bodies. So it is today's webinar also comes under that goal. So ecosystem restoration is one of the important area where we have to discuss at all education levels from schools to universities. So supporting these goals are three action pathways. One is global movement will generate peer-driven participatory global movement that focuses on upscaling restoration. Pathway two, political will empower leaders in the public and private sectors to champion restoration. Pathway three, delivery at scale will generate the technical capacity that is needed to restore ecosystem at a scale. And very important thing is second one, political will. Political leaders will not be so bothered about the ecosystems. Our political leaders are they are also part and part of the industries. So many industry persons have become so politician these days, not only India, elsewhere, everywhere this is the trend. That is why political will also very, very important. That is why in recent past, if you see the last year's elections, United Nations ESC elections or any elections, people are coming with the green economy. They are selling green economy. What kind of green economy they do? What kind of green policy? That political party, whether that political party is having any kind of green economy, green policy, or any other ecosystem policies kind of things. So that is why elections, it has become an agenda in so many countries, including US. And in our India also, some way or the other, in the political agenda, in manifesto, all major political parties, I can say, that they are mentioning somewhere we will see the ecosystem, we will see ecosystem should be restored, our ecosystem will be maintained, green economy or green zero carbon economy or something like that. So they are mentioning somewhere the other. So that is the one of the important aspect of this, because it is a bounded duty of all the political parties of any nation to restore the ecosystem or to safeguard the biodiversity or ecosystems. That is where they are putting in their political agenda now. And what is the message? What are the messages? There are so many messages. Key message one is countries need to deliver on their existing commitments to restore 1 billion hectares of degraded land and make similar commitments for marine and coastal areas. So 1 billion hectares of degraded land should be restored worldwide. So for that, each and every nation has to commit themselves and there to do some practices. So these the fulfillment of these commitment is not simply something that is nice to have. Restoration is essential for keeping the global temperature rise below the 2 degrees centigrade, ensuring food security, growing population, and slowing the rate of species extinction. So global temperature exceeds more than 2 degrees centigrades. We all seen so many movies have come. We all experienced how much hot it is in during summer, and we are seeing what kind of floods we are experiencing. Catastrophic effect we are seeing. So many species are extincted. Okay, like that. So that is why we have to see global temperature should not exceed more than the 2 degrees centigrade as what is there now. And that is very important for the species protection of to slowing the protection of the species extinction and also food security. Humanity is not outside of the nature, it is part of it. We need to recreate a balanced relationship with the ecosystems that sustain us. Key message, unfortunately, we are still going in a wrong direction. The world's ecosystems from oceans to forest to farmlands are being degraded in many cases at an accelerating rate. People living in poverty, women, indigenous people, other marginalized groups bear the brunt of this damage. And the COVID-19 pandemic has worsened the existing inequalities. While the causes of degradation are various and complex, one thing is clear: the massive economic growth of recent decades has come at the cost of ecological damage. Whatever growth we have seen in economy, that has come because of the loss to the ecosystems. And these are all not my words; these are all United Nations messages. And key message 3: ecosystem restoration is needed at a large scale in order to achieve the sustainable developmental agenda. So it is needed at a large scale, not at small scales. Ecosystem restoration delivers multiple benefits. Benefits society. Half of the world's GDP is dependent on the nature. Every dollar invested in restoration creates $30. ₹1, if you spend $1 per ecosystem restoration, you will get $30 in as a benefit in economic terms, because people understand if you say something in terms of money, they are telling this. Restoring productive ecosystems is essential to supporting food security. Restoration through agroforestry alone has potential to increase food security for 1.3 billion people worldwide. Restoring the population of marine fish to deliver a maximum of sustainable yield could increase fisheries production 16.5 million tons and annual value of $32 billion. If you restore the entire coastal ecosystem, marine ecosystem, then 16.5 million tons of fishes every year production increases. Annual value is $32 billion will be added to the economy. Okay, large scale investment, dryland agriculture, mangrove protection, water management will make a vital contribution to build resilience to climate change, generating benefits around 4 times the original investment. So there are so much of statistical data is there. Achieving successful ecosystem restoration at scale require deep changes. What kind of deep changes at national level nation level people have to adopt is adopting inclusive wealth as a more accurate measure of economic progress, creating an enabling environment for private sector to invest, including through public-private partnerships, increasing the amount of finance for restoration, including through the elimination of perverse subsidies that incentivize further degradation, fuel climate change, and through initiative to raise awareness of the risks posed by the ecosystem degradation. Taking action on food waste, making more efficient use of agricultural land, encourage a shift to a more plant-based diet, expanding awareness on importance of healthy ecosystem throughout our education systems. So this is also one of the message that is why we are conducting all these programs in educational institutions. There are other messages also. Everyone has a role in ecosystem to ecosystem restoration. And another one is achieving the aim of the United Nations decade will require actions by many, not by individuals. Individuals have role, institutions have role, population has a role, nation has a role, and as a human race we have a role. And what kind of approaches? I think this will be the last couple of slides. Ecosystem restoration, what kind of approaches we can do? So restoration approaches, one is ecological restoration. That is the process that is one of the targets, approach target. Okay, among the different approaches, this is one of the approach as per the United Nations. Okay, ecological restoration is one of the approach. What is the process for that? Assisting the recovery of a terrestrial, freshwater or marine ecosystems that has been damaged, degraded, and destroyed. That is the process. And what is the end point? Transition from the degraded ecosystem to a reference ecosystem, which may be a natural or a cultural one. And second one is forest and landscape restoration, reversing the degradation of soils, agriculture areas, forest, watersheds, thereby regaining their ecological functionality. That is the process in forest and landscape restoration. What is the intended endpoint? Restoring multiple ecological, social, and economical functions across a landscape and generating a range of ecosystem goods and services that benefit multiple stakeholders. Restoring aquatic production ecosystems. Processes maintaining ecosystem structure and function to support food provisioning while minimizing the impacts rather than the restoring ecosystem to an initial stage before production activity started. And endpoint, large and ocean marine ecosystems support affected by direct or indirect impacts of fishing gears, fishery production, recovery through changing in fishing methods, gear modification to rebuild fish stocks, reduce adverse impact on the environments. And specificities shown to bound to freshwater ecosystems and coastal ones will linkage to fisheries and aquaculture. And the fourth one, regenerative agriculture, farming that uses soil conversions as the entry point to regenerate and contribute to the multiple provisioning and regulating and supporting services. Intended endpoint, enhancing environmental, social, economical dimensions of sustainable food production, soil carbon, soil health, and on-farm biodiversity are restored. And rewilding, so wild animals, wild areas to be rebuilt, rewilding. So rebuilding following major human disturbances, a natural ecosystem by restoring natural process and complete or near complete food web all trophic levels as self-sustaining and resilient ecosystems. What is the endpoint? There is no endpoint, no predetermined endpoint to this, but functioning native ecosystems complete with fully occupied trophic levels that are nature lead across a range of landscapes. So 115 governments have committed to restore a total of 1 billion hectares on land as a contribution to achieve the objectives of the United Nations or whatever CBD, and are the born challenge I was telling to forest landscape restoration. And it will take a concerted and coordinated effort to change course from our current trend of accelerating degradation towards a global economy that sustains rather than depletes our ecosystems. However, achieving restoration at a scale will require fundamental changes to economy and also political systems. So there are so many. There are people are restoring. So principles, what are the principles involved? I'll just highlight the principles. Most one. So governments do not have to choose between economic priorities and environmental concerns. Government do not have to choose. Government have to choose only environmental concerns, not the economic concerns. This is one of the principle. They are supposed to do it. Okay. As the restoration agenda can help to deliver on the goals of livelihoods, food and water security, international trade, poverty alleviation, human rights. If you are a signatory nation of United Nations, these are all our responsibilities as a nation, not only India, any nation. So these are all the responsibility of the nations. That is why you are not supposed to choose between the economic priorities and environmental priorities. You are supposed to withstand with the environmental priorities concerns. Successful restoration can involve all actions in the land and seascape, from private sector to local and rural communities to youth. The development and implementation of gender responsive methods for empowering women and girls. One of the important principles is that should be gender responsible, gender sensitive. Women and girls should be involved in dialogue, planning, decision making, implementation of ecosystem restoration. Okay. Failure to incorporate a gender responsive approach could worsen existing inequalities and limit the sustainability of the ecosystem outcomes. So it will not result, it will not yield a good result. So that there should be a gender responsive involvement in dialogue, planning, decision making, and implementation. So third important principle is indigenous peoples are responsible for managing approximately 28% of world's land surface. 28% of land surface of the world is managed by the indigenous people, that is tribes, local natives. Okay. And 37% of all remaining natural lands, and 28% indigenous is in the hands of the indigenous people. That is why through their traditional knowledge, customary, sustainable use, and collective actions in the various ecosystems that they inhabit, indigenous people and local communities play a vital role in both conservation and restoration. That is why in all forest areas, there are so many schedules, there are so many rights to the forest indigenous people, because they are there in those areas inhabited since very long back. Okay. And there are other also such principles can help to address challenges in restoration, including effective design and implementation, accounting for complex ecosystem dynamics in the context of climate change, navigating trade-offs associated with the land management priorities and decisions. The same one I was telling in the simple manner. Principle 1 promotes inclusive and participatory governance, social fairness, equity from the start to throughout the process and outcomes. Principle 2 includes a continuum of restorative activities. Principle 3 says aims to achieve the highest level of recovery possible for ecosystems, health, and human well-being. Principle 4 says addresses drivers of ecosystem degradation. It addresses what are the drivers which are primarily responsible for the damage to the ecosystems. Principle 5 incorporates all types of knowledge, promote their exchange throughout the process. Principle 6 says is tailored to the local context. So tailored to the local context while considering the larger landscape or seascape and social, ecological, and cultural settings. We'll consider all those things and we'll do it. People are supposed to do it. Principle 7 says it is based on well-defined short and long-term ecological and socio-economic objectives and goals. All goals are not long-term. All goals are not short-term. So there will be short-term, long-term, socio-economic and objectives and goals based on that. This principle says that based on that we have to work out. And principle 8 plans and undertakes monitoring, evaluation, and adaptive management throughout the lifetime of the project and program. If you start a program, a project, and if you leave it to a project after a couple of years, it does not yield the results. So entire tenure of the project. For example, if the project is 10 years, the program is 10 years. If you do planting during the one government and if you don't do the same plantation kind of in the next government, if you start one program, this government, during the government, this government, and if you don't continue that program in the next government, if you start one activity during the principalship of one teacher, if we don't continue the same activity after next the principal retires or principal changes, so it does not yield the complete results like that. So plans undertakes monitoring, evaluation, and adaptive management throughout the lifetime of the project. Entire lifetime of the project, we have to take it, or entire duration of the program. And principle 9 says integrates policies, measures to ensure longevity, maintain funding, and where appropriate, enhance and scale up interventions. Wherever it is needed, you have to enhance the money and also scale up different interventions for the restoration. So there are technological advancing. One is remote sensing. We can use remote sensing as a measure to do so much of interventions, so much of ecosystem studies and how to restore. Better knowledge sharing. For example, if somebody knows something, some college, some institute, some nation, whatever practice you have done, whatever technology you have used, whatever method you have adopted, it should be shared. That knowledge sharing is very important. It should be shared. It is also one of the understanding of the United Nations. If one nation adopting one policy where the results are promising, encouraging, that policy will be reflected, will be used, will be reflected, will be used, and in another nation, in another context, in another area, and that is when better knowledge sharing is also one of the important. Improved on the ground practices. Improved on the ground practice. What kind of practice we are doing? If somebody is doing some kind of practice which is giving result, and then that can be restored or replaced or mimicked somewhere else, and improved on-ground practices are encouraged. There are so many other things are there. I'll not go into details. Shall I continue, sir? Couple of minutes. Tirupati, sir, is it okay?
You may proceed, sir. Please proceed.
Yes. Yeah, this is something very interesting. So restoration initiatives around the world. 4 for 1,000 initiative. This is called 4 for 1,000 initiative. It is a global initiative. I was telling some initiatives are global level, some initiative national level, some initiatives are regional level, some initiatives are local level. So this is the national global initiative, 4 per 1,000 initiative. That is called 4 per 1,000 initiative. What is that? A network to demonstrate the role of agriculture soils in climate mitigation and food security and air. So that is one initiative. And second initiative, restore European Center for River Restoration. I was telling Greater Europe. This is related. It is not a global initiative. It is a Greater Europe region, rivers region. And what is that target is? And it is a network to promote and build capacity for ecological river restoration across Europe. So it is a local European region initiative. Okay, a network to promote and build capacity for ecological river restoration across Europe. And third one is Bond Challenge. It is a global, and it is related to forest and landscapes. Okay, 350 million hectares have to be restored, forest lands to be restored. That is the target. Target of 350 million hectares of forest and landscapes restored by 2030. So by next 5 years, for 6 years. Okay, already 4 years have gone. So 6 years, 350 million hectares of forest and landscapes to be restored because of the signatory, because you are a signatory nature in Bond Challenge or Bond Agreement in the United Nations. Any nation, there are 160, 170 nations have agreed for this. That is international objective. And Global Mangrove Alliance. This is another area where initiative that is called Global Mangrove Alliance. And it is also again national, it is also again global level initiative. And it is targeted against mangroves, okay, mangroves degradation. And 20%, that is 20% aims to increase global mangrove cover by 20% by 2030. Whatever last is there, 20%, that should be restored 20% at least by 2030. That is the target of Global Mangrove Alliance. Global Peatland Initiative. If you remember my initial slides, mangrove laws, peatlands, ecosystem, forest ecosystem, freshwater ecosystem, I was telling. And these are the some restoration practices people are being practiced now. So Global Peatland Initiative. And it is also global level and focused on the conservation, restoration, and sustainable management of the peatlands. And Great Green Wall Initiative, I was telling, it is there in Africa level, landscape restoration, 1,000 million hectares to restore, 100 million hectares, to restore 100 million hectares of currently degraded land by 2030, 8,000 kilometers stretched, and 100 million hectares of degraded land of 11 nations. Okay, spreading 11 nations. So by 2030, that is Great Green Wall Initiative at Global Initiative. And International Coral Reef Initiative. I was telling Australian coral reefs, what is happening to the coral reefs. Okay, it is also again global initiative, an informal partnership between the nations and organizations that strive to preserve coral reefs and related ecosystems around the world. So it is called International Coral Reef Initiative. And Regreening Africa, 8 countries in sub-Saharan Africa, 500 kilometers, restoring ecosystems in 8 countries and improving the resilience to 5 lakhs households. That is Regreening Africa. So these are the very prominent green initiatives or restoration initiative around the world. And all these initiatives, whatever initiative I was telling, these are all funded. All nations get funding from the United Nations. All nations get funding from different international agencies like World Bank, World Economic Forum. That is why they go different meetings, all nations, and sign there and commit something, and then they'll take the money and they'll do all these kinds of activities. So there is a funding for this. This is not simply voluntary activity and all that. Okay, right. How to join? This is the story of the entire ecosystem restoration and how to join. If somebody is interested, how to join. You can join at an individual level. You can join at a school level, college level, state level, national level, regional level, local level, at any area. Okay, one is action. Start your own on the ground initiative. Join an existing restoration conservation effort. Help building an alliance to give a bigger boost to the nature comeback. You can. There are so many choices. You can select any one of the choices and you can contribute yourself. And voices, make your voice and ideas count in debates. About how to manage your local environment, about how we can make our societies and economies fairer and more sustainable, and press decision makers on to do the right thing. Okay, so voting the people, those who are saying green economy, green initiative, ecosystem restoration, these kinds of. Okay, chances for them. Go green, eat right, fund restoration, live light. There are so many initiatives, choices. You can select any one of these choices, and simply you can turn restoration viral. Just you someday, for example, June 5th. So if you want to do some kind of thing in that day, all new generation can make it some kind of ecosystem restoration as a viral kind of thing. You can in your status, in your Facebook, in your Instagram, in your social media, or else at your school level. If any club is there, Eco Club, Nature Club, or any other club, Biodiversity Club, Fauna Club, Butterfly Club, just do some activity and take all these terms, ecosystem restoration, restoration of ecosystems, all these new terms and new tasks, and then make it viral. So go in a creative way, and you can do some kind of splash. These are all green circles. Raise your voice, use your vote, join up. You can join in any one of these websites, social websites. You will get so many updates. Because I was in this area, I'm trying to create some awareness in different academic bodies. So I have enrolled in so many these websites. That is why I will get so much of updated data from the ecosystem restoration from the United Nations every day, one day the other. Weekly once I will get a mail. So this is been practiced, or this is being done somewhere else. So like that, you can be a part of this by joining in social groups, by voting your vote, be a right person, right party, raise your voice and make it viral, go creative, go kind of creative activities, celebrate some international days, involve in activities, and then you can do so much of things. So I'm very much thankful to the audience, primarily because they are there. That is why I gave almost this talk, 1 hour talk, and then opportunity given by the college, a government degree college for women at Jagityal, and in collectively with the Tirupati sir, all Lakshya college and other colleges. And this is, if any questions are there, thank you very much for giving the opportunity. And if any questions are there, I am ready to answer.
Okay. This is the time for queries. Dr. D. Sunita Madam Garu, please unmute yourself. Sunita Madam Garu.
Okay, sir. Hi, sir. On the occasion of World Biodiversity Celebration 2024, a warm and grateful afternoon to our all dignitaries and their faculty members and my dear students and everyone gathered here. I'm very happy to ask you, is there any query? Please go on. Sir is ready to give you the answers. Please go on.
Okay, I will give an option to individual interactions. Okay, I have given all the participants, all the dignitaries, please unmute yourself and interact with our respected keynote speaker. So I have given an option. Dr. Ravi Prasad sir also here. The most eminent personalities, professors, lecturers are joined here. So please interact with our respected keynote speaker, Professor AMANCHI NAGESWAR garu. Sir, one question. Varala Mallesham sir. School
Yes,
level lo biodiversity lo conservation విషయంలో ఎలా అవగాహన చేయవచ్చు?
School level, yeah. సింపుల్ సార్, అంటే మన స్కూల్ లెవెల్లో బయోడైవర్సిటీ అంత నాలెడ్జ్ పిల్లలకు ఉండదు. బట్ వీ కెన్ స్టార్ట్ సమ్ క్లబ్స్, లేదంటే సీజనల్ గా యూ కెన్ కలెక్ట్ సమ్ బటర్ఫ్లైస్, యాండ్స్, బీటిల్స్, చాలా ఇన్సెక్ట్స్ వస్తాయి స్కూల్ లెవెల్లో. మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ది కేసెస్ స్కూల్స్ అన్ని ఊరి చివరిలో ఉంటాయి. ఈవెన్ కొంత ఏరియా ఉంటుంది, సో చెట్లు ఉంటాయి. పిల్లలకి బయోడైవర్సిటీ అంటే ఏంటి, డైవర్సిటీ ఆఫ్ ఇన్సెక్ట్స్, యాండ్స్, బీటిల్స్, ఇవన్నీ వస్తుంటాయి. సో యూ కలెక్ట్ సమ్ సీజనల్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ రైనీ సీజన్ వస్తుంది రేపు. రైనీ సీజన్ లో జస్ట్ మీరు ఏం చేయొచ్చు అంటే 1 feet 1 square లో 1 feet డెప్త్ విడ్త్ తో పెట్టుకొని ఒక చిన్న గుంటను తయారు చేయండి. తయారు చేసి దాని చుట్టూ పెట్టేస్తే ఈ వర్షం వచ్చినాక ఒక లైట్ ట్రాప్ ని పెట్టండి. ఒక లైట్ ట్రాప్ ని పెడితే, లైట్ పెట్టి ఒక ట్రాప్ పెట్టేస్తే నైట్ స్కూల్ నుంచి వెళ్ళిపోయేటప్పుడు నెక్స్ట్ డే మార్నింగ్ వర్షం వచ్చిన ముందు రోజు, వర్షం వచ్చిన తర్వాత రోజు పెడితే కొన్ని ఇన్సెక్ట్స్ వచ్చి పడతాయి, దాంట్లో కొన్ని బీటిల్స్ వస్తాయి. So you can collect all those beetles and insects next day morning, and you can ask them to identify what are these beetles, what are these kinds of insects, how many types are there, what they feed, how they feed, where they are. Yesterday they are not there. After just 1 day rain, they have come. How they have come. So what is their kind of role in diversity? These kinds, how they are useful in decomposing. You will have some knowledge. మీకు కొంత నాలెడ్జ్ ఉంటుంది. ఆ నాలెడ్జ్ ప్రకారం ఏవి డీకంపోజర్ గా ఉపయోగపడతాయి, ఏవి ఎట్లా ఉంటాయి, డైవర్సిటీ చూడొచ్చు. చాలా ఫ్లైస్ వస్తాయి నెక్స్ట్ డే మార్నింగ్ వరకు, చాలా ఫ్లైస్, డైవర్సిటీస్. మన స్కూల్ కొద్దిగా పెద్దగా ఉండి, ఇంకేమైనా కాలేజ్ కొద్దిగా పెద్దగా ఉంటే అవన్నీ చేయొచ్చు. అవన్నీ చేస్తే బటర్ఫ్లై టైప్స్, సీజనల్ ఫ్లైస్. యాక్చువల్ గా పర్సనల్ గా నన్ను ఫాలో అయ్యాను. బీస్ అంటే మనం హనీ బీ అని అనుకుంటాం. దేర్ ఆర్ hundreds of bees in Telangana itself. There are 200 above types of bees are there. జస్ట్ మీరు కలెక్ట్ చేస్తే చాలా బీస్ కూడా మీకు కనపడతాయి. అట్లా టైప్స్ ఆఫ్ బీస్ చూడొచ్చు, మౌత్ పార్ట్స్ చూపించచ్చు, దాటి స్ట్రక్చర్ చూపించచ్చు. వాళ్ళకి డైవర్సిటీ మీద, బయోడైవర్సిటీ మీద, యానిమల్ క్రియేచర్స్ మీద. ఇంకా పిల్లలు, స్కూల్ పిల్లలు అంటే, హై స్కూల్ అయితే ఫోటోగ్రఫీ తీయచ్చు, మేకింగ్ వీడియోస్, ఫోటోగ్రఫీ వీడియో తీసు. వాళ్ళకి ఒక టాస్క్ ఇచ్చి వాళ్ళ ఇంటి దగ్గర ఏమైనా చెట్లు ఉంటే ఆ చెట్లలో ఏదైనా ఇన్సెక్ట్స్ కానీ, బటర్ఫ్లైస్ కానీ ఉంటే ఎలా మూవ్ అవుతాయి, ఎట్లా ఫ్లై చేస్తాయి, ఎలా కలెక్ట్ చేస్తాయి. ఐఎమ్ నాట్ టెలింగ్ వెరీ జనరల్ ఆన్సర్ సార్. ఎందుకంటే బటర్ఫ్లై హనీబీ ఒకసారి ఒక ఫ్లవర్ నుంచి నెక్టార్ ని తీసుకుంటే ఇంకోసారి ఆ ఫ్లవర్ దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళదు. దే విల్ కౌంట్ ది నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్లవర్స్. They also recognize the flower from where it is collected. Nectar is collected. So they'll go once to their flower. They'll not come to that flower again. So ఒకసారి వచ్చి దాని మీద వాలి నెక్టర్ తీసుకొని నెక్స్ట్ దానికి వెళ్తారు. Like that they'll count the number also. They also know how many flowers they collected. So it is a scientific study, but still students will know they are not collecting all the flowers. Once they collect 5 flowers, 10 flowers, or they are collecting in only one plant, not the other plant, or they will see so many other kinds of. So you can pose some questions and then give terms tasks. People will and recording their behaviors, how they fly, how they start taking the nectar, how much time they take. These are all behavioral studies also. We can give to the students at school level, high school level. Primary school level, it is very difficult, but still you can collect some different kinds of insects or plants. You ask them to see the types of structures, venation in plants, flowers, leaf structures, flower structure, inflorescence, their reproductive parts, colors, why they have got colors, why the colors are changing, or why the one plant giving 2-3 colors flowers, something like that.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank
you very
one
much,
of the
sir. Good
participants
evening,
asked
sir.
your contact number, sir. With your permission, if you agree, I will share your number in the chat box, sir.
Yeah, you don't worry. And then whatever references I quoted at the end of my presentation,
Okay,
there
sir.
are 3 references. Those 3 references are enough to get the entire document. You can get the document. If it is very difficult to prepare a PPT, I will share the PPT also. It's not my own. It is collected from the United Nations. Very big this kind of document. I have collected all the data and then put it in an organized manner. That is very simple. Entire data, entire page, 50, 60 pages or more than 100 pages. I don't correctly remember, but that document is there. You can collect that document and circulate among yourself. You can give my number also. No.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, please.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Rupshika Agrawal from Raipur, Chhattisgarh.
Okay.
Sir, one question is from my side. Sir, how we can enroll these types of group to get some activity?
No, I have given in the last slide. Just I'll share the details. Just you can go through the websites and then enroll in those websites.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Enroll in those websites, you will get the details. Whenever there is an update, I will get every day more or less some update information about the ecosystem restoration. There are websites in that. You can see those websites. I will share once again also. No problem.
Sir, very interesting. Your lecture is very interesting and informative. We get very much informative things from your lecture. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Welcome.
100 తగ్గలే మళ్ళీ.
Okay, is there any queries? Okay. Madam, before going to this time for a vote of thanks, I would like to invite ODT Vinay Kumar, Faculty of Integrated Teacher Education Program. Please share in the chat box feedback link. So it is the time for feedback. All the participants, all the dignitaries, I am requesting you, please fill the feedback link. And
these are the 3 slides, sir.
Session. Don't leave the session before fill the feedback link, sir. Okay.
So how to generation restoration? These are the choices. You can take any one of these things. Yeah, these websites.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you.
These acknowledgements, you can see these 3 references also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
These 3 enough. You will get entire whatever I have presented, entire data I'll get.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, please. Good afternoon.
Sir, please suggest our students are doing internships regarding. So, but this any internships are there?
Where in Osmania University or any general university?
Other AP, sir.
I'm not sure, but you have to contact the individual teacher or the department for internship. It is always better to contact individual teacher, individual faculty. If anybody is there in the toxicology area, biodiversity area, I'm ready to take one or two, or in biotechnology, genetics, microbiology also I can suggest because I am working with my colleagues in Osmania University. So genetics, biotechnology, microbiology, I can suggest. Environmental biology. If any student is falling in this area, interested in this area.
Oh, yes, yes. Sir, any projects that please suggest for degree students?
Yeah, that is internship is nothing but the project. If really,
yes, sir.
if they spend one semester time, if that provision is there in our host institution,
thank you.
They can come to Osmania University, any one of these labs for one semester, or else it depends on the summer vacation, winter vacation, something like that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I want vacation period, sir. Oh, okay, sir.
Yeah, short vacation also they can come.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Dr. D. Sunita Madam Garu, Assistant Professor, Head Department of English, Government Degree College for Women, Jagityal. Please, you may proceed. It's time for vote of thanks. Please welcome them.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks and acknowledge the contribution of those who worked really hard to make this event possible. I, Sunita, lecturer in English, on behalf of our college, Government Degree College Women Jagityal, and the entire fraternity of this institution, extend my sincere thanks to the Almighty for making today's event a grand success. As William Arthur rightly said, feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and not giving it. Today, I take this opportunity to express my deepest sense of gratitude and appreciation to all those made this event such a resounding success. First and foremost, I thank to our special guest keynote speaker, eminent personality, dynamic, the explanation, Professor AMANCHI NAGESWAR GARU, Department of Zoology, Osmania University, Hyderabad. He has found time to grace this occasion for his efforts towards ecosystem restoration, certain essential approaches, principles, and interventions. Today,
Madam, proceed.
sir, can you mute the? I'm getting disturbance, sir.
Okay,
Can you
okay.
mute the?
Madam, please proceed.
Okay. Today we had an opportunity to hear your thoughts, and this will surely encourage us in all our future endeavors. Your thoughts have enlightened our minds and have shown us a new path. We are very glad to have such a great personality on this.
Sunita Madam Garu, unmute yourself. Sunita Madam, unmute yourself.
మేడం మీరు మ్యూట్ లో ఉన్నారు.
Sunita Madam Garu, please unmute yourself.
Sir, I'm
Audible,
now it is okay, sir?
Audible. You may proceed.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for your very interesting and thought-provoking address. I'm sure that all the participants have taken note of your suggestions. On the occasion of World Biodiversity Celebration 2024, Sir has explained how biodiversity conservation simply means to protect and manage the biodiversity for obtaining sustainable development of resources. Three main objectives to conserve biodiversity: preservation of the diversity of species, utilization of species and ecosystem to make them sustainable. Forest and expand ecosystem for the healthy environment to the entire society. Now I place on record our gratitude to our beloved and dynamic and supportive our beloved principal Y. Satyanarayana Sir Garu for this generous support for this event. Your encouragement I constantly boosted our envious. Thank you, sir, for your unflattering, unsteamed support and guidance. Thank you, sir, for being with us. And I also would like to acknowledge our immense gratitude to our today webinar dynamic patron, Professor Arigella Ashok sir, Principal of SKNR, Government Arts and Science College, Jagityal, who has always been supportive of our initiatives and encouraged us to strive for excellence. I need to mention my deepest sense of appreciation. Thank you, sir, Ashok sir. Thank you very much. And I owe special gratitude to another dynamic patron, Dr. Jai Kishan, host, Principal of Government Degree and PG, Lakshitipet. It has really a great time with you, sir. Sir, your thoughts have enlightened our minds and have shown us a new path. Thank you very much, sir. And another, I would like to extend my gratitude to our faculty, great faculty, co-patron, G. Chandraya Sir Garu, Head of the Department of Botany, Government Degree College, Women, Jagityal. His unwavering support has been instrumental in our growth and success. Thank you, Chandraya Sir Garu. And I would like to express my appreciation to another great faculty, co-patron, Sir R. Radhakrishnan, Sir, Head of the Department of Botany of SKNR, Government Arts and Science College, Jagityal. Your presence has added an extra part to this event and make this even more special, sir. Thank you very much, sir. And my special thank, I'm very happy to say heartful thanks to Srimati K. Sandhyarani Madam, Head of the Department Political Science, Government Degree and PG, Lakshitipet. Thank you, Madam, for your wonderful words, introduction of our wonderful speakers, Madam. And I also express my heartfelt gratitude to all teaching staff for their enormous cooperation and non-teaching staff and the heads of various departments and the dignitaries for various valuable contribution, guidance, and encouragement in all our efforts and to give support to ensure that this event becomes success. And last but not least, I would also like to extend my gratitude to our dynamic convener, Dr. Padala Tirupati Sir Garu, Coordinator, ITEP, Department of Education, Government Degree and PG, Lakshitipet, and Department of Botany, Government Degree College, Women, Jagityal, who have been guiding lights, imparting wisdom and knowledge to students and nurturing their talents. All the students are very happy and they are feeling very glad to have such a great and wonderful faculty. Thank you, sir, for giving the support to entire not only the state and international levels also. And finally, I leave this inspiring quote by Swami Vivekananda: "Arise, awake, and stop not until goal is achieved." So once again, thank you all for your attention. Now I would like to take permission from all the dignitaries present here to end the program. Thank you, sir. Over to Padala Tirupati sir.
Okay, thank you, Sunita Madam Garu. Both English faculty members are here in this Zoom meeting. One is Head of Department of English, Dr. D. Sunita Madam Garu, Assistant Professor, Head Department of English, and another dynamic faculty, and who introduced here in this program, Dr. Etta Josna Madam Garu, Assistant Professor of English, Government Degree College for Women, Jagityal. So by both of your support, we are here. And final words regarding from this webinar. I am very happy and thankful to very busy schedule and in this hot summer afternoon. So these 2 hours, 2.5 hours, firstly, I would like to say thanks to keynote speaker because Sir has joined exact time at 2:30 p.m. sharp, and till now Sir is active and encourage all the participants. More than 100 participants they are joined, and some of the member they are left. And even though till the last second 100 participants they are joined, more than 375 participants they are registered, sir. 375 participants they are registered and they are filled 390 feedback link. I just now observed 390. They are very happy. They are already filled the feedback link, very happy, and share their thoughts and the enlightenment of this program and happiness regarding of this webinar. Just because of the three patrons of this three colleges. One is Dr. Y. Satyanarayana from Government Degree College for Women, Jagityal, and one of the dynamic personality, Professor Arigala Ashok sir, Nodal College Principal, Jagityal District. So sir has always encouraged me. I have already told in the beginning. Till now, I am very thankful to him, and also the principal patron of the today's webinar, Dr. Jaikishan Oja, Principal, Government Degree College, Lakshadweep, and the co-patrons of our college, Dr. G. Chandraya Garu, Head Department of Botany, and Organizing Secretary, Dr. Rautu Radhakrishna Garu, Head Department of Botany, SKNR Government Arts and Science College, Jagityal, because of it is a prestigious college and very old college in Jagityal district. So I wish the regain the student strength in the SKNR Government Arts and Science College by the excellent staff, excellent faculties there, and along with the dynamic principal, Professor Arigala Ashok sir. And also finally, I would like to say thanks to Professor AMANCHI Nageswar Garu. So really, I am very happy and also thankful to you, sir, forever. Very soon I will coming to Hyderabad. Definitely I will meet you, sir. So this hard time, you are enlightened and reached the fulfillment of the content, the ecological and ecosystem restoration, and on the occasion of World Biodiversity Day, 2024, May 22nd. So this day is fulfilled by your session, sir. Really enlightened all the participants. Most probably they are came over from the different degree and PG colleges, sir. And some of the participants, they are professors. Professor Ahmad Abdul Halim Khan, sir, from Telangana University, Department of Botany. Sir has joined and sir has also messaged me. It is an excellent session. And also some of the participants, they are came over from the different universities of Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh and Agra, that is from Uttar Pradesh. So by these professors' message, I am very thankful to Professor AMANCHI Nageswar sir. This is just because of the three messages are enough. How this much of program, how much this is successful. So thank you very much, sir. And all the participants, and with the permission of patrons and Professor AMANCHI Nageswar sir Garu, we would like to going to wind up the session.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your words.
Thank you,
words,
sir.
Opportunity. And myself, Vijay Bhaskar Reddy, sir, and then Shashikala madam took some initiative. And then because of that, all government degree colleges are now doing energy audit and green audit. You are getting certificates.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Autonomous colleges. It is from the College Commissionerate Office. We discussed with the College Commissionerate after 2019 pandemic. We have come with the green audit and all that idea. Because of that idea, maybe some work has extended for you and all the colleges, but you are doing with all colleges, autonomous colleges and degree colleges. Colleges are doing green audit, energy audit, and you are getting certificates.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have got the certificate, sir.
Yeah, that kind of initiative somewhere somehow we have to start, and then we have started that, and it is there now in entire Telangana. And people are approaching from different colleges outside private and outside Telangana also for green audit and then these kind of things. So like that, we have to make somehow our point. So this is very, very important these days. So we have to do some kind of activity.
Just because of your initiation, our government colleges and other colleges also maintain the green cover of the canopy in the institutions. Just because of your initiation, sir. Really inspiring and inspirational, sir. And also Government Degree College for Women got the B++ certificate from you, sir. And also SKNR Government Arts and Science College. I hope A certificate, A+ or A grade has got this, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Thank you, sir. అక్కడ సార్ వెయిట్ చేస్తారు ప్రిన్సిపల్.